The Me Too movement has sparked a global conversation. In response, some have said that the world has become too politically correct.
Have you ever won at something no one expected you to succeed in? What did it feel like to experience hardship in a quest that looked alien to your people? This is the story of Hen Nhi, a poor Vietnamese girl who became the Miss Universe despite all the odds against her. Following your dream and bringing glory to your family and community can be taxing. However, when you are determined to break barriers and blaze trails stronger than steel, nothing can stop you. This video will discuss how Nhi got into pageantry and the hurdles she had to cross. Early life of humble beginnings in rural Vietnam. Hen Nhi was born in a rural area in Vietnam. Growing up in a small village in the Central Highlands, she experienced a huge load of hardship due to the meager income of her parents and the little resources allocated to her hometown due to the location. Her family was one of many in the community who relied on subsistence farming to make ends meet, and Nhi often helped out in the fields and at home. While life was simple, it was challenging, with limited access to resources and modern amenities. As a young girl, she never knew what luxuries meant or felt like. This lifestyle was responsible for her humble character and outlook towards life. In the raid culture, traditional values are still taken seriously, especially regarding gender roles. According to long-standing customs, girls in her community were often expected to marry young, sometimes as early as in their teenage years, and focus on household duties. Many girls her age would have likely already been preparing for marriage, rather than considering school or a career. In a feature with Vogue, Nhi shared that this expectation also extended to her. By age 14, her family was already preparing her for marriage by looking out for prospective suitors. However, Nhi had different aspirations and a deep desire to see life beyond her village. She knew there was more outside of her village, and she was determined to explore. Right from a young age, Nhi stood out because of her choice to make a different choice for herself. She was passionate about continuing her education, even if it meant stepping away from traditional expectations. Yes, she did know about her parents' financial status, but if there was anything else she knew, it was the fact that she would find a way. Truly, her family lived from hand to mouth, and any rational being would say that Nhi pursuing an education was like reaching for the moon. Yet, she wouldn't give up. Intuitively, she knew without trying she would have lost 100% of all her chances. The going gets tough. With this knowledge, Nhi worked various odd jobs to support herself. Throughout this period, her driving force was the dream and life she could have outside her village. In her village, Nhi's decision to delay marriage in favor of her studies was considered unconventional. Some elders who saw no sense in what she was trying to do made an effort to persuade her to follow the status quo, but she didn't budge. More than bending to cultural pressures, she was driven by a vision of something greater. In an interview, Nhi explained, "I wanted to do something that would make my family and my community proud, something different." And because dreams come true, she became the first in her family to finish her schooling and move on to college, a phenomenon that was uncommon and almost unheard of for young girls in her village. To get a good education, Nhi did many odd jobs like selling petty items, babysitting, cleaning, and other jobs that could bring money. After a while, she left her village to go to Ho Chi Minh City. She knew moving to the city was necessary if she wanted a brighter future, but it came with plenty of challenges. It was a needed inconvenience to further her education and escape the limitations of her rural life. On getting to the metropolis, she had to quickly adapt to the fast pace of city life, which was far removed from the calm and familiarity of her hometown. Nhi enrolled in a local college and was determined to complete her education. However, paying for tuition and living expenses was a constant struggle. Again, she had to turn to doing menial jobs to cover her costs. This time, she worked as a housekeeper, a tutor, and even washing dishes in restaurants. In a conversation with a Harper's Bazaar, she said, "I was willing to do anything honest to support myself. I just knew I had to keep going." Balancing work with her studies was difficult, but she pushed forward. Each job was a stepping stone that allowed her to stay in school and keep moving toward her dreams. City life was not easy, so Nhi often faced moments of doubt and loneliness. Adapting to a lifestyle completely different from her village took time. She missed her family and the comforting rhythms of her village. Nonetheless, she focused on building a new path. While city life had its demerits, it also brought loads of advantages. For instance, living in the city exposed her to a wider world and a deeper understanding of the challenges faced by people from all walks of life. The diversity of the Ho Chi Minh City widened her outlook on life, and she began to see herself not just as a girl from a rural village, but as someone capable of making a real difference. These early experiences birthed the Nhi that we know today. Every job taught her the value of hard work and strengthened her resolve to succeed. Looking back, Hen often credits these formative years for giving her the persistence she needed to enter the pageant world later and handle the intense pressure that comes with it. The road to Miss Universe Vietnam. For some people, they have assiduously planned pageantry for many years. Sometimes, they had the support of their family members along the way. However, Nhi's journey to the Miss Universe Vietnam pageant started unexpectedly. While studying and working to support herself in Ho Chi Minh City, she was introduced to modeling as a potential side job. Initially, it was just a way to make ends meet, but modeling eventually led her to a world of opportunity she had never imagined. Not long after she started, modeling agencies and professionals noticed her unique beauty and striking presence, and soon enough, Nhi began to consider entering beauty pageants seriously. At first, she didn't take it seriously, but the push she needed came from a friend who encouraged her. She told her that her poise could take her far in pageantry. Still, Nhi wasn't convinced. The thought of competing in Miss Universe Vietnam felt overwhelming for her. She knew the pageant world was demanding, and coming from a humble background as a member of the Raid ethnic minority, he would have to confront stereotypes. But it seems she was wrong. Her fears were for nothing. Vogue Vietnam noted how the Vietnamese pageant scene often favored contestants with a more conventional beauty standard. This made Nhi stand out not just in looks, but also in cultural background. As could be expected, preparing for Miss Universe Vietnam was rigorous. Nhi trained in areas she had little experience in, like public speaking, walking the runway, and learning to present herself confidently. She also learned more about fashion, makeup, and the expectations of a pageant contestant. Yes, she faced financial limitations and lacked the typical pageant polish of her competitors, but Nhi put everything into her training. She was dedicated as she spent countless hours refining her walk, perfecting her speech, and working on her physical fitness. One of the unique challenges Nhi faced was dealing with cultural misconceptions. Many people, even those close to her, questioned whether she would succeed due to her ethnic background. She knew that her decision to compete was not just about personal ambition, but also about representation. She wanted young women in minority communities to see her and feel that they too could dream big and break through traditional expectations. She said in an interview with Elle Vietnam, "I wanted to show everyone that it doesn't matter where you come from, you can reach the top." During the Miss Universe Vietnam competition, Hen stood out because of her background and confidence. Her radiant smile and genuine personality made a lasting impression on the judges and the public. She shared her story on stage and talked about her family's financial struggles, her decision to leave her village, and her desire to make a difference. This honesty and vulnerability won over the judges and the audience. People often believe that telling sob stories is one surefire way to win a competition, but this wasn't true in Nhi's case. Her story was genuine and compelling, setting her apart from other contestants who were more polished but less relatable.
I am an ethnic minority. I'm just to get married at 14, but no, I'm show education from nothing. I'm here.
As the competition progressed, Hen's confidence soared. She embraced every challenge, from evening gown rounds to public interviews, and each step reaffirmed her determination. Her performances were simply fascinating as she showed both elegance and authenticity. Ultimately, her efforts paid off when she was crowned Miss Universe Vietnam 2017. It was a victory that opened a new chapter in her life and also served as a powerful moment of representation for ethnic minority communities in Vietnam. For the first time, a young woman who had once been told she wouldn't fit the mold was now a national beauty queen, inspiring countless others across the country. That was just the beginning. When Nhi was announced as Miss Universe Vietnam 2017, It was a moment that carried an impact far beyond the typical excitement of a beauty pageant victory. Standing on stage, overwhelmed by the cheering crowd, Ni could hardly believe she had just made history. For her, the win represented more than a personal achievement. It was a breakthrough for young girls back home. They could dream too and become more too. Media outlets like VN Express reported extensively on her victory. They said her story had touched the hearts of people across the country. Her perseverance and authenticity inspired people, and her victory brought a renewed sense of unity and pride among Vietnam's ethnic communities. She was celebrated for her beauty and for her strength, humility, and the courage it took to break societal norms. Her win sparked conversations about diversity and inclusion in Vietnam, as many realized the significance of someone from a minority background reaching a national platform. As Vietnamnet said, Ni's victory wasn't just hers alone. It was a win for all those who dared to dream beyond the boundaries set before them. As Miss Universe Vietnam, Ni embraced her new role with enthusiasm and a strong sense of responsibility. She knew that her position was about more than appearances or fame. It was about making a positive impact. So what did she do? One of her first steps was to engage in various charitable efforts that focused on issues that resonated with her background, like education and poverty reduction. In interviews, she talked about her desire to use her platform to advocate for those who lack the resources and opportunities she had struggled to find. She said, "I want to be someone who lifts others, just like I was lifted by those who believed in me." Ni's growth from a contestant to a title holder was graceful and purposeful. She used her newfound platform to raise awareness about important issues. She traveled across the country, speaking to young people about the perseverance, dreams, and breaking through barriers, becoming a powerful, positive example for others. Also, she didn't stop working on herself because of her title and status. Ni continued her education and personal growth, determined to fulfill her duties as Miss Universe Vietnam with as much dedication as she had shown in preparing for the pageant. Representing Vietnam at Miss Universe the following year. When Ni prepared to represent Vietnam at the Miss Universe the 2018 pageant, just a year after her first win, she knew it was an opportunity to make her country proud globally. This time, it was no longer a personal ambition, but a chance to show the diversity and resilience of Vietnam. If the road to winning Miss Vietnam was mega stressful, then you can bet the journey to the Miss Universe stage was tedious. It was full of intense preparation. While she had learned so many things in the previous years, she knew she was heading to a much bigger stage and needed to fine-tune her skills. Ni worked tirelessly with a dedicated team to hone her presence, striving to balance the beauty and poise expected at Miss Universe with her own authentic, humble style. She wanted to stay true to herself and her roots, even competing in an arena often dominated by more conventionally glamorous or polished contestants. As VN Express rightly captured, Ni's journey to Miss Universe was not just about beauty. It was about the courage to represent her identity and inspire others. One of Hen's standout moments during the pageant was her national costume, which brought to light elements from Vietnamese culture and drew on traditional themes from her ethnic background. The costume stood out for its intricate design. She wore it proudly, knowing it would send an international audience a message about the richness of her cultural roots. Her simple yet powerful personality captured the hearts of many. In her own words, she described feeling a sense of responsibility to show the world who I am and where I come from, hammering on the fact that she wasn't just competing for herself, but for all those who looked up to her and her journey. Throughout the competition, Ni continued to shine in various segments, from her elegant evening gown presentations to her poised interview responses. Another moment to make a memorable statement came when she spoke about her life philosophy and drive to overcome adversity. Her speeches showed her authenticity and dedication to creating a better future for underprivileged communities. Unlike many contestants who focused on glamour, Ni's sincerity in her hard work and compassion message made her a fan favorite. Media outlets like Global Beauties noted her refreshing, grounded presence. And soon, she became one of the most popular contestants in the international pageant.
The Me Too movement has sparked a global conversation. In response, some have said that the world has become too politically correct.
As the pageant continued, Ni's personality and message hit the audience and judges in the right places. She made it to the top 5. Wait a moment, do you know how many contestants entered the 28 Miss Universe pageant? About 19 countries had representatives in the programs, and even though she didn't win, coming in the top 5 was no small feat. Ni received widespread praise for promoting resilience, hope, and cultural pride. The Vietnamese media even celebrated her achievement, with headlines calling her a trailblazer for Vietnamese beauty. Her message of empowerment and giving back. After the pageant, Hen returned to Vietnam as the national hero. Her performance elevated her to a symbol of pride for many Vietnamese people, and she continued to use her platform to support education and social causes. Her story showed that representing one's country internationally can be a powerful act of cultural pride and personal authenticity, inspiring future generations. Now, with more resources and a better platform, it was time to give back to her community. Having come from a humble background and overcome numerous obstacles, Ni knew firsthand the struggles many young girls in rural communities face. Yes, her story was inspiring, but she needed to do more. She strongly advocated for girls' education, especially in communities like hers, where the traditional expectations limited opportunities for young women. Ni's advocacy for education stems from her experience going against societal norms to continue her studies. Since she has learned public speaking in her quest to win the Miss Vietnam and Miss Universe pageant, she spoke about how education changed her life and opened doors that she never thought possible. Her message to young girls is simple but powerful. If you believe in yourself and are willing to work hard, you can achieve anything. Using her platform as Miss Universe Vietnam, Ni has been involved in various philanthropic efforts. She frequently collaborates with charities and nonprofits to promote educational initiatives and support needy communities. One heart-touching example was when Ni donated her Miss Universe Vietnam prize money to fund scholarships for students in her village, allowing them to continue their education without the financial burden. She also supported the construction of new facilities in her hometown, intending to create an environment where young people could focus on learning. Vietnamese media, including VN Express, praised her for these contributions, calling her a role model who gives back to her roots. Beyond financial contributions, Ni also dedicated her time and energy to hands-on charity work. She has organized and participated in outreach programs that provide educational resources, healthcare, and vocational training to suppressed communities. For example, Ni collaborated with Room to Read, a global nonprofit focusing on literacy and girls' education, to advocate for educational equality. Through her work, she continually talks about the importance of giving young people the tools to pursue their dreams, regardless of where they come from. She told VietnamNet, Ni's charitable efforts go beyond her home village. She often uses social media to raise awareness about issues affecting Vietnamese communities. Her followers, both within Vietnam and internationally, can't help but admire her authenticity and commitment to uplifting others. Her message of empowerment is exactly what young people need as they see in her story a reminder that success is not defined by wealth or status, but by one's character and dedication to helping others. In addition to supporting education, Hen also advocates for causes related to health and wellness. She has been vocal about the importance of the mental health, particularly for young people facing societal pressure. Her openness about her challenges allows her to connect with her audience on a personal level, making her an influential figure in promoting self-empowerment and resilience. Hen Ni today. On October 2024, Ni took to her social media to clarify what happened during the closing ceremony of a recent fashion show. There was talk about her being sidelined in a modeling event she participated in. In a picture that surfaced online, Tan Hang, Ni, and 2 other models were on the walkway. However, she appeared to be walking behind the other models. For a model of her status, they expected her to be on the same pace as them. She addressed the matter when she saw the takes and opinions flying around. According to her, the idea that she was oppressed or sidelined by senior model Tan Hang was funny. Ni explained that her slower pace was due to a personal issue and not because of any pressure from Tan Hang or the show organizers. She took her audience back to when she was seen walking behind models Lan Kuei, Do Man Kwang, and Tan Hung during the final procession. She said she understood that the mixed reactions on social media were her fans' way of showing support and having her back. Still, some users believed that she was being mistreated, while others suggested it might have been a simple wardrobe issue. In her statement, Nee shared, "It's inevitable to face some issues during a live show. I had a personal incident, which caused me to be a bit behind my seniors, and it was a valuable lesson for me." She thanked her fans for their supportive comments and encouraged people to avoid jumping to conclusions. She also used that opportunity to show respect for Tan Hung, whom she sees as a mentor and teacher, particularly since Tan Hung was a judge during her time on Vietnam's Next Top Model. She said, "To me, my teacher is always my teacher. Tan Hung and I have performed in many shows together. I cherish every moment in fashion." While Nee has done her best to clear up some misunderstandings, Tan Hung and the show's organizers have yet to make an official statement. So on that, we keep our fingers crossed. Nee's relationship. Nee has not explored the dating pool since becoming a celebrated model. However, her relationship with Tuan Khoi is not a secret. The couple had been dating since 2019, but decided to end it. Recently, rumors began circulating that Nee and her ex-boyfriend might have rekindled their romance after nearly a year apart. Speculation arose when Nee's ex shared a photo of her wearing a shirt with her name written on it on social media. The bold caption says, "Inside me is Hen Nee." He further triggered hearsay by sharing a promotional image of Nee's latest art project. These gestures made many netizens wonder if the couple had reconciled after their previous breakup. When asked for clarification, Nee's representative informed VTC News that Nee is currently busy filming a wildlife conservation program and would prefer not to comment on personal matters. He also cleared the air on photos of Hen alongside a man who fans speculated might be a new love interest. Her representative said these images were from a project with singer Ho Quin Huang and denied that Hen has a new boyfriend. Nee is a private person. Hen has rarely discussed her relationships in public. Throughout her time in the spotlight, she has only spoken about one boyfriend she met when she was 27. Their relationship first caught fans' attention in 2019 when Hen posted photos that appeared to match the locations of the photographer and director Tuan Khoi's social media updates. Throughout their relationship, Nee and Tuan were discreet. Unlike other celebrity couples, they rarely share photos of each other. When she did post about him, Nee often hid his face, and Tuan did the same in return. The couple dated for 3 years. She limited public discussion of her relationship. They parted ways in 2020, came back together briefly, but eventually separated again in April 2023. Thinking back on the relationship, Nee described it as her first love. She said, "Fate is difficult to explain. I'm grateful for the years we spent together." During an appearance on Beautiful Sister Rides the Wind and Turns Waves, Nee became visibly emotional when asked about her ex. She acknowledged that this love had left a lasting impact on her heart. She admitted with tears in her eyes, "It was about 3 years, but I don't want to dwell on it." She has also stated that she sometimes gets emotional when thinking about past relationships, describing herself as a little weak when it comes to love. In a recent interview with VTC News, Nee said, "It's not that I'm still holding on, it's just that when I remember, I feel a little nostalgic. My feelings were real, and those memories remain." Whether Nee finds her heartthrob or not, one thing that will remain unchanged is that she is a successful woman who has broken barriers and done what many thought was impossible. She is known globally as the girl who chose her dreams over getting married at a young age. She is the poor Vietnamese girl who crawled so that others in her community could fly. What do you think about Hen Nee? Are you impressed by her determination and grit? Share your opinion in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos.